Hey guys, D1sco here, and today I'm reacting to the Dead by Daylight developer update for September 2024. I know this is releasing in October. Again, super back to bump videos. Also, I know about the terrible camera angle. I get it. I don't have some of my equipment with me, so that makes filming harder to make look good, unfortunately, but yeah. Um, I'm just trying to make do with what I have. The next update features an especially large number of perks, tweaks, and reworks on top of our usual killer tweaks and new features. In this post, we'll dig into each of the changes and share our reasoning behind them. So this might be a longer one. So I apologize for all the yawning I'm gonna do if this is a longer one. I'm gonna I don't know why. I'll be like fine all day and then I'll sit down to make a video, and if it's a patch note I'm almost always yawning. But anyways, the finishing Mori major update, this is up first. New, the killer can now perform a Mori on the final survivor without using an offering. New, objects obstructing the camera during the Mori animation will fade away. Rework, Memento Mori offerings have a new effect, getting a large blood point bonus when performing a Mori on the final server. I'm still really upset. If this, the, I'm kind of upset that this is coming because, um, well, I think it's super cool, but the part I'm upset about is, it does, to me at least, it feels weird. It feels like in some ways this is a step backwards. I get that they wanted the Mori to be seen more often, but the way that they're doing it really means that unfortunately you can't like Mori every survivor in a match, and you don't have that potential to Mori every survivor in a match if you bring the Abani Memento Mori, um so I just think it would have been cool if they could have found a way where you could still Mori everybody with that offering, but also have the finishing Mori system. But it doesn't seem like that's the case. Maybe I'm wrong. It does say that they have a new effect. That doesn't necessarily mean that their old one is gone. I haven't read the developer notes yet, but I'm just hoping that you could still um you know, get all of them, because it would make sense for this game. So let's read the developer note chat now and just see if my concern, just see if that little bit of upsetness is addressed or not. Plus I just want to learn more. When the fishing mooring system was tested previously, many found it and the surrounding gameplay changes to have too large of an effect on the match. Yeah, I could see why. We have scaled back this system to better see what players expected from it. Killers now have the option to kill the final survivor if they so choose. This will provide some visual flair and create a satisfying end-to-end match. Because originally you were forced to, and it's just, you were just forced to, like, regardless. But it's cool that now you don't have to. Like, if I feel like there would be a reason to not want to Mori the last person, so it's cool that you don't have to now. Since this change would make Memento Mori offerings obsolete, they literally mentioned when they did the PTB of this like a couple of years ago. I remember they mentioned that they were just gonna get rid of Moris because of the system, and it's just like, you don't do that. Come on. So it's nice seeing that they're mentioning that, addressing that now. We have reworked them to instead reward the killer with a large amount of blood points based on their rarity when the Mori is reformed. Okay. But so yeah, so it sounds like they straight up just don't, like, the Abani Memento Mori is kind of useless to some extent now. Obviously the extra blood points are nice, but at the same time it's kind of just like, so I can't kill every. That means the only way to kill everybody would be the would be like certain characters, if that makes sense. Like Michael, if you play as Tombstone, Michael was the infinite tier free for the like you're trying, to try to get the one achievement. You could kill everybody. Um, Sadako, if you fill up the condensed meters, you can bore everybody. Pyramid Head, if you got everybody to like walking trails and like kept that on them the whole game until they're dead. Like you could worry by it. So it sounds to, so it's like it's cool that you still can worry everybody. It's just kind of frustrating that it's not the same because now it's like only a very handful amount of killers can, and that's only because they have certain things that allow them to worry people. Um, we have also added a new mechanic which hides nearby objects when the Moris have need to prevent rocks, crates, and other things from rudely standing in the way so you can see their killer kills in all of their glory. Okay. I'm still kind of upset about, again, the one thing of just not being able to kill everybody. It's because to me it made a lot of sense that you could do that in this game, and so just it's kind of feels like a bit of a slap in the face that that's going to be gone. But everything else about this is really cool. It's cool that the Moris will give more money, more blood points. That'll be nice. But and then definitely it's cool that we'll be able to see more Moris now, for sure. Survivor perks, always interesting to see perks because they are constantly getting changed and messed with to better fit the game and whatnot. And sometimes you gotta nerf them, buff them, and whatnot. And it's a never-ending battle. Teamwork Power 2 medium update. This effect will linger for a few seconds when out of range. Re-entering this range before the linger time expires will maintain the effect. Change increased range to 12 and 16 meters. I think it was 12 meters. I think it was just 12 meters across the board originally. Removed Teamwork of Power 2 no longer has a cooldown. Was 180, 160, 140 seconds. That's right. Removed no longer deactivates when either survivor loses a health state. Developer note: this perk grants a speed boost to both survivors after healing as long as they stick together. This alone is pretty conditional. Yeah, that's true. So we have removed the cooldown entirely and removed the added deactivation clause to simplify the perk and make it feel better to use. We've also increased the range slightly to make it a little easier to maintain. I think that is a solid change because the problem with certain perks is the problem with certain things is if you think about it basically in like a sense of like, oh, this would be way too powerful like on paper, but it's like, but then in practice it's like super conditional like this perk kind of was. It makes sense to um adjust it for that conditionness. So I'm very happy that they did that with this perk. Oh, they touched Teamwork Collective stuff as well. Nice. I'm very excited for the corrective action one because I feel like corrective action is a cool perk, and I actually have it on Jonah, but I'm just I didn't get too much value out of the original. It was cool that you could like as long as you had tokens like kind of fix your teammates' mistakes a little bit, but it's like very excited for the corrective action since I can see its name. But anyways, back to collective stealth. New, this effect will linger for a few seconds when out of range. Re-entering this range before the linger time expires will maintain the effect. Changed, increased range to 8, 12, 16 meters was 12 meters. Removed, teamwork collective stealth no longer has a cooldown. Was 180, 160, 140 seconds. Removed, no longer deactivates when your survivor loses a health state. Developer note: we have given a similar treatment to teamwork collective stuff. I forget who had which one. I thought one of them. I think it's Power of Two. I thought Power of Two like at one point allowed you to fix gens faster with someone else, but I might be thinking of the wrong perk, or maybe they changed it at one point. I'm forgetting. I don't know. Healing and staying near each other is already quite the demand, so we have removed the unnecessary cooldown and health state condition. The range will match other teamwork perks for consistency. Or maybe there's multiple teamwork perks, and I just can't remember. I don't even know. I really can't remember anymore. But definitely a good change, in my opinion. Very excited for this one, by the way. Corrective action. Oh, and your focus got touched too. Cool. I'm a little less enthusiastic because now it says minor update, but I'm so excited. Change now applies to survivors within 8 meters. Was cooperating on the same action. That is true. It used to be that. The new change I think could be very interesting. Change prevented failed skill checks will now become great skill checks. Was good skill checks. That is a huge buff. The good skill checks is already pretty nice, but now it's great skill checks. That's kind of ridiculous. Developer note: corrective action previously only prevented progress lost from other survivors' missed skill checks. This could be great when playing with a new friend, but not very useful for more experienced players. We have changed the result to a great skill check to provide a marginal progress boost whenever the perk activates, giving it some value in higher end matches. That's really cool. I'm definitely keeping corrective action on Jonah, and I'm definitely gonna continue like using it with the characters that I use it for, because that is a nice change. The fact that now if my teammate accidentally messes up, I can boom, great skill check, give us a little bit more progress. That's very nice. I really like that change personally. If it proves to be too powerful, I'm sure they'll nerf it. I don't think it will be though, because it is pretty situational. Because you need to have tokens, and you need your someone now within 8 meters of you to fail skill check. But still, really cool. Inner focus. I'm very excited to see this one, for sure. Change increased aura reading duration to 8, 6, 8, 10 seconds was 3, 4, 5 seconds. That's right. Removed removed range requirement. It's pretty big. Let's see what we got here. Developer note: this perk previously requires you to be within 32 meters of the survivor loses the health state. That is true. We didn't get one often know where the killer is anyway. That is true. We have removed this condition. This will make inner focus a useful tool for keeping track of the killer's whereabouts regardless of where they are on the map. I think that's a pretty good change, honestly. They do make some good points with some of their with some of these perks as to why they changed them, and I feel like they make sense. Obviously, if something goes wrong, they'll fix it. But on paper, a lot of these do sound pretty good, and reasonable. We're gonna live forever. Now, this is an interesting one. This is technically now David's best perk because Dead Hearts they finally killed, and no biter. I still wish they would change it. They would rework that or something. God, I hate that. That perk is easily my least favorite, just because of how much of a hindrance it is. Was being one shotable every time you're off hawk. It's pretty ridiculous. But I'm really interested in this one because I don't think they've touched this one too much. I think they did touch it at one point, but they haven't touched it. We haven't touched in a while, so I'm excited to see this. Change. Increased healing speed bonus to 150% with 100%. Developer note: survivors aren't left in the dying state often. So we want to make sure this perk is effective when the situation arises. That's a pretty good point. I like that. Removed. Endurance effect no longer needs to be activated. New added a 30-second cooldown to the endurance effect. Developer note: the endurance effect of the perk made the perk overly complicated to make use of. Yeah, that's true. So we have replaced this with a cooldown instead. This cooldown only applies to the endurance stats effect, not the healing speed increase. So cool. This healing speed increase doesn't have to deal with that cooldown. That's pretty nice. It's pretty nice indeed. Poised. Medium update. Is that Blood Rush? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm excited to read Blood Rush. A major update. Okay. Okay, behavior. Anyways, back to Poised here. New. When you first start repairing a generator, see the killer's aura for 6 seconds. I don't think that Yeah, that's a new effect, but not bad. Change, increase duration to 10, 12, 14 seconds, well, 6, 8, 10 seconds. Developer note to make poised more appealing. Yeah, it wasn't super appealing before. We're introducing a new effect in addition to the original one. Oh, so they didn't touch the original effect. That's really cool that they just like added like more effects to it. I think that's really cool, honestly. When you first start repairing a generator, you'll see the killer's aura. This will help keep tabs on where you are throughout the match. We've also increased the duration of the original effect to help you cover more ground without leaving tracks. I think that's really cool. And Blood Rush, which got a major update, which has me excited. Change. Blood Rush now activates for 40, 50, 60 seconds after being unhooked. Previously activated permanently when you were one hook away from death. That is honestly a pretty big change. I don't remember the this perk. I haven't used it super much. I'm just very excited to see it get a major update. That's really cool. Um, Definitely a fair change. The fact that it used to be permanent is kind of whatever for sure, especially just because, like, I can understand why they would change that honestly. But it does kind of suck. New blood rush now deactivates upon performing a conspicuous action. New blood rush. I don't know why it's so hard for me to say it there. Now deactivates when the exit gates are powered. Okay, removed blood rush. I almost said blood rush because for what reason when I'm saying blood rush, like after saying certain other things, it's like my tongue. I felt it that time in the remove thing. My tongue kind of felt weird. It was like by the vibrations of just talking and whatnot, and I was like, so I don't know what that was about. That was pretty weird. Uh, no, removed blood rush. Okay, it went pretty well that time. What the hell is happening with the camera? No longer heals or provides the broken status effect. Developer note this perk had a lot of effects and an equally strict set of conditions. We have simplified it to focus on the exhaustion recovery, which tended to be the main appeal for the perk. To allow this effect to happen more often, blood oh my god, I almost did it again. Blood rush now activates for a set duration after you are unhooked. Killers will want to be careful not to chase blood rush users after they are unhooked since they will be harder to catch. God, having that perk would have been so nice when I got fucked over by that ghost face and that what out of attempt video and whatnot. If only. Anyways, this effect will be disabled if the survivor performs conspicuous action or if the exit gates are powered. Definitely interesting update. It'll be really interesting to see how Blood Rush performs. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's a very interesting change when you like read it and just like kind of talk about it. But it'll be interesting to see what they if they need to touch that perk or not, or like fix anything or change anything. It'll be interesting to see for sure. I really want to see what the next one is. Oh god, it's Quick Gambit. Okay, that perk, interesting choice. Because this perk isn't terrible, but it's like a lot of people don't like using it, especially when it came out because they were so strict on how it worked back then. But now, it's a little bit lessons. It's still definitely tricky to use, though. Unfortunately, new when chasing the auras of other survivors. New quick gambit knows a 60-second cooldown upon losing health state. Change reduce repair speed bonus to 3, 4, 5%. Was 6, 7, 8%. That's interesting. I really want to know why they reverted that. That does kind of suck because it used to be that you were because it used to be that you got that effect. You know what I mean? Like it used to, because the way that it used to be allowed you to basically you could So they, it used to be that this perk had some problems because people weren't able to really use it effectively, and so they updated it. So they updated it to be so they basically give it a bigger range and more progress. So I think it's really interesting that they reverted it back to the original repair speed. I don't feel like, just right off the bat, I feel like that wasn't a smart move, but I also haven't fully read their decision to do that. Removed repair speed bonus, no longer has a limited range. Well, that's good at least. Developer note: quick damage previously required survivors to lead the killer towards the generator in order to get any benefit. Yes, this was very risky and often results in the killer chasing those survivors instead. Yeah, that's true. This perk no longer has a range requirement and now shows the orders of other survivors, so you can do the opposite: keep the killer away from them. To balance this out, Quick Gambit will now go on cooldown upon losing a health state, making it more challenging to keep active and providing the killer a way to play around it. Yeah, I saw they mentioned nothing about reducing the repair speed at all in that, which is interesting. Which is interesting, but I get that. I think that's actually really cool that now this perk actually has a purpose a little bit more, because it's not as risky. Now it's all about making sure that the killer isn't by your teammates so they can get that nice repair speed. So maybe they felt like it would be too powerful if they had the original, if they had the 6, 7, 8% repair speed bonus still, and I could understand that for sure. But yeah, I think that's honestly a really cool change. I'm very excited to see what the future of Quick Gambit is, because that, oh, distortion got touched. That's cool. Medium update. Rework. Distortion no longer has tokens and instead deactivates once used until the next time you were chased. Change increased the duration to 8, 10, 10 12 meters, so 6, 8 meters. It honestly got buffed away. All they did, by removing the tokens, and that kind of got buffed a little bit. That's cool. A developer note: distortion counters a lot of perks and add-ons. The token system and recharge mechanics make distortion far too effective. I wouldn't say that. And allow survivors to go unseen for the entire match. I don't really know how, but I'm also not great with the perk, so maybe that's just the problem. So I won't harp on that too much. To limit its effectiveness, we have removed the token system and made it so distortion only reactivates upon being chased. We've extended the duration slightly to help account for no longer or reading effects, because I didn't realize it was that powerful, because I rarely see distortion, and I swear nobody has ever talked about that. So after kind of seeing a bit more of their decision, I think that's definitely a good change for distortion. So that's no longer a thing that happens, but that is kind of funny to me that is a thing. Oh, lucky star, minor update. Oh my god, genetic limits got a major update. I'm excited for that. Genetic limits is a pretty cool, very interesting perk. At least it was. I don't know how it'll be now. Change now suppresses grunts of pain and pools of blood as long as you are in the locker. This effect lingers for 30 seconds after exiting the locker, was 10 seconds after entering. Removed, no longer reveals survivors or generate auras. Developer note: lucky star short duration, often meant it would wear off before the killer left the area. It will now stay active as long as you are in the locker and linger for a set duration after you leave. Okay, not terrible. Killer perks. I'm already excited because I see genetic limits and leverage. The genetic limits major update rework. It's pretty crazy. Anytime a survivor loses a health state, they suffer from the exhaustion for 8, 6, 8, 7, 8 seconds. Let's go. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. A developer note: developer limits previously affected survivors who healed, yes, which often lead to the exhaustion side effect expiring before they could be chased, yes. It will now apply to survivors who lose a health state instead, but with a shorter duration. This will provide more consistent value, though skilled survivors may be able to outlast the effect. Valid, but pretty cool. I like that. Oh, they touched flak. Let's go. Leverage, medium update, rework. When a survivor performs an unhook, their healing speed is reduced by 30, 40, 50% for 30 seconds. Developer note, leverage used to gain strength as the match went on. This made leverage ineffective early on, often only becoming effective when the match was nearly won anyway. We have reworked it to be much simpler and provide consistent value. Leverage now discourages survivors from healing directly under the hook. Let's go. Oh god, they touched machine learning. Machine learning may have gotten nerfed. I just want to mention, since I've seen machine learning before I read Flack. Me and Orange, by the way, love the name for Flack. So I'm hoping that the change is good to the perk, because yes. But machine learning, as Orange has mentioned to me multiple times, it's it's a pretty good perk. So it's like I'm hoping they don't destroy it too badly, but obviously if they do, it's understandable. Rework. Flak now starts with free tokens. Gain 1 token upon hooking a survivor when breaking a pallet or breakable wall. Consume 1 token and cost Rosin 24 meters to scream and reveal their location for 3, 4, 5 seconds. Developer note. Flak used to only activate once per hook, leading it to often being wasted, yeah. By introducing tokens, killers can store these, use this for later, and potentially use them more than once in chase. If you need to, yeah. Definitely pretty good. Oh, Deathbound got touched. Okay. Machine learning medium update changed. The most recently damaged generator becomes compromised. Developer note: machine learning previously required you to damage one generator to activate it, then another to compromise it. This made it awkward to use. Yeah, I can see why, but it's still solid. To simplify this, the most recently damaged generator will always be compromised. Only one generator can be compromised at a time. That is fair. I really want to know what Orange's opinion on this will be, honestly, because that's pretty cool. That's honestly, I feel like that's a pretty good change, honestly. Oh god, Zanchin Tactics got a major update. I can see why though. Zanchin Tactics isn't super used often, and its effects are kind of whatever. But anyways, Deathbound medium update removed. Deathbound no longer has a distance requirement to activate. Let's fucking go. Removed. Deathbound no longer has a duration and instead deactivates when the healer is hooked. Let's fucking go, boys. They buffed Deathbound by removing certain dumb requirements. Let's fucking go. Where's my Deathbound squad at? Deathbound squad, rise up. Let's go. Developer note: this perk's range condition made it inconsistent to use. To simplify it and give it a nice boost in strength, we have removed both the range requirement and the duration. Let's go. I love how it says to simplify it and give it a nice boost in strength. Deathbound King. Let's rise up. Where's my add a pyramid heads at? Let's go. Let's go get that achievement, boys. Let's go. We got a stronger perk. Let's go, boys. Let's go get that achievement. Who's with me? Yeah. Anyways, I'm really excited for Sanchin Tactics. So what's Oh, Dead Man switches after. Okay. Sanchin Tactics major update rework. When a survivor is within 6 meters of your dropped pallet, within 16 meters of your location, their aura is revealed for 6 to 10 seconds. Developer note: revealing pallets and windows was much less useful for killers than survivors since the killer is present every time a pallet is broken. We have reworked this perk to instead reveal survivor auras near drop pallets. This will provide same useful info during a chase and allow for some interesting mind games. Nice. I kind of like that rework, honestly. That's kind of nice. Oh, Blood Echo got touched too. Okay. They touched a lot of really cool perks in this one. I've been really um enjoying this one already. Like this has been so cool. Anyways, Deadman Switch minor update change now applies only to the first survivors who stops repairing a generator. Change increased duration to 40, 45, 50 seconds with 20, 25, 30 seconds. Developer note Deadman Switch provides a very powerful effect but can sometimes get off hand when combined with other perks. We have changed it to activate only on the first survivor who stops repairing to limit how powerful it can be and increase its duration to compensate. Interesting. I get that that was a very powerful effect, and I understand that, but at the same time, it's kind of like the fact that now it only applies to the first survivor who starts repairing generates. Like, um, I feel like in some ways this perk got nerfed like a ton. Honestly, I feel like to some extent this perk Deadman Switch is now straight up unusable just because it's like 40, 45, 40, 45, and 50 seconds aren't a whole lot of time in terms of like being in a match and playing this game. That's gonna go by pretty quickly, and then you just don't have this perk anymore because it's used. Um, I feel like they should give that a nice little buff. If I'm being honest, I think it could use that. That's just my personal opinion. I think they should find a better way with this alpha perk. But anyways, I get why they tried it, but it's just like no one wants to use a perk that's a one-time, like one use only thing. You know what I mean? Like if perks were like that, then I feel like not many of them would be used. For sure. And even then it's like why you use them if they're one time only? Like sure, the effect is nice, that's then yeah, I get that, but at the same time it's kind of like it's one time use. The Switch is probably the only perk so far I don't really understand that. I feel like the change is worse, but that's of course just my personal opinion. We'll see what happens with that. Blood Echo, medium update, removed. Blood Echo no longer has a cooldown. Change, reduced duration 20, 25, 30 seconds. Developer note Blood Echo previously had a long cooldown. This felt unnecessary since the requirement of flicking a survivor itself spaced out its activation. This has been removed, allowing the perk to activate more frequently and reduce the duration slightly to compensate. I feel like that's fair. I feel like that's a fair compromise for Blood Echo. Oh, Predator got a major update. I'm very excited for that one then. Because I personally do like Wraith's perks, but I understand that they weren't great. That they're not great. They're just okay. So, Hex Crowd Control, medium update. Rework. The last 3, 4, 5 volts, which survivors rush vault are blocked by the entity. This lasts until the Hex totem is cleansed. Interesting. It works a lot differently then. Developer note, in vault heavy areas, it is possible for survivors to outlast the effect by linking together multiple windows. Going forward, the most recently vaulted windows will be blocked until the hex is cleansed. Interesting. Very interesting. Jesus. 24 minutes of me just reading. I haven't even gotten to the killer updates yet. This is kind of crazy, the developer update. But they did say that they were going to be touching a lot in this one, so I guess that's fair. Predator, major update. Rework: when a survivor escapes a chase, reveal their aura for 6 seconds. This perk then goes on cooldown for 60, 50, 40 seconds. Interesting. I feel like this perk could help me out a lot, but I'm not entirely sure why. I'll read the developer note, maybe it'll make more sense. Predator has always caused mixed feelings. Some feel like tighter scratch marks makes tracking easier. Others find it makes finding survivors harder. We've given this a new effect, which will be more useful for all. Though struggling to keep track of survivors, I need to put my hand up for that one, because that is very much me. Orange has seen me, Orange has watched me playing and I'm doing well, and then I just lose the person. And that's happened so many times in bot matches for PTB videos and stuff. So I'm very happy that Predator got a nice little rework. Though struggling to keep track of survivors will find Predator handy for giving them a second chance. Meanwhile, more experienced players may find some use by initially breaking chase. I can see why they gave it the change that they did. That's definitely interesting. Killer updates the Skull Merchant. She's gotten touched quite a number of times. It's kind of crazy to think that they keep touching this character, but I get why. They're pretty there's a lot going on with Skull Merchant. Medium update though, so let's see. I'm really excited. Change, decreased hindered penalty when scanned by a drone to 5% was 10%. Okay, so they nerfed that a little bit. Removed. The Skull Merchant no longer gains haste when scanning a survivor. Developer note these two effects combined to create a huge speed difference between the killer and survivors. We've removed to 1 and toned the other down to a fair level. That's fair. Change, reduced number of drone scan lines to 1 was 2. That's right, it was 2 before. That's an interesting nerf. Change, drones are now always in their active state. I actually kind of like that one because you could disable them. And I believe and I'm assuming you can still mess with them, but now they're always active, which is super cool. And finally, change, drone scan lines are now invisible beyond 60 meters. I feel like that's fair as well because when you could see them farther, it's okay, you do you could judge it, but now it's if you're not experienced, and again, not many people play Skull Merchant, so it's now it'll be harder for you to determine that, especially for players who don't, aren't super familiar with her. So I think that's really cool. Interesting ideas for Skull Merchant, honestly. Developer note, being unable to see drone scan lines make them very difficult to play around accordingly. Scan lines will now always be visible and nearby and invisible when out of range. Additionally, we've reduced the number of scan lines per drone to allow for more counterplay. Yeah, that's fair. Ooh, Hillbilly. The Hillbilly. Minor update. Change. Decreased time before overdrive starts to dissipate to 8 seconds was 15 seconds. Change. Decreased the overdrive movement speed to 11.5 meters a second was 13 meters a second. Change. Decreased overdrive charges gained while revving and sprinting to 1.5 seconds was 2 seconds. All I hear is Billy was too powerful. Change. Increased chainsaw missed attack cooldown to 2.7 seconds was 2.5 seconds. Oh, okay. Developer note has been gracing the Hillbilly's rise in popularity. Now that he's had some time to settle, we've identified a few aspects of his new overdrive mechanic that could use some fine-tuning. Overdrive tended to kick in very frequently, staying active for a large portion of the match. These changes will make the overdrive mechanic a little less common and provide less of a speed boost when it's active. So you're still getting a speed boost and whatnot, but they're just... Okay, I can understand that. We've also increased the missed attack cooldown slightly to make it harder to follow up when missed chainsaw was a basic attack. Okay. Oh, the twins got a minor update. Did they just get a rework not that long ago that made them feel a little bit better to Orange? Nice. Maybe they'll feel a little bit more better to them. Change. Increased Victor's cooldown when crushed to 20 seconds was 15 seconds. Change, increased cooldown after Victor downs the survivor to 3.2 seconds with 2.7 seconds. Developer note, following their update earlier this year, which feels like forever ago to me for some reason. I don't know why. The twins saw a sharp increase in recovery to keep them in check. Have slightly increased how long it takes for Victor to recover after downing a survivor. We have also slightly increased how long it takes for Victor to become available after being crushed by a survivor to make it more impactful and the survivor manages to pull it off. The Unknown minor update. Orange has actually been playing a lot of The Unknown lately, from my understanding. So much so that on my because he was helping me out with some challenges at one point, and Unknown is the only killer from this year that's Prestige 2. Everyone else is just Prestige 1 so far. I know that doesn't sound super impressive to a lot of you, but I'm working on like every killer right now because I really want to get all the all the perks up. I would like to get all the perk charms and definitely the prestige outfits for sure. So that's why my numbers might be lower than other people's numbers. But I can understand the twins updates. So what do we got here for the unknown? Oh god, there's a lot to read for this one. Okay. New HUD update to display teleport cooldown and hallucination spawn time. Interesting. Change. Movement speed now decreases sooner when charging your power. Change. Increase teleport recovery speed by 15%. Change. Adjustments to blurry photo and vanishing box add-on. And finally, change. Improved visual and audio feedback when using UVX. That last one definitely sounds nice. I'm not saying it was bad, but I'm just saying I could see it being helpful for a lot of people. It definitely sounds nice. Developer note, we tend to revisit cures a few months after they release and see if they need any balance changes. It turns out the unknown is already in a pretty good spot. Let's fucking go. And it's well liked by players, especially Orange. Orange, they did Orange. Your boy, your thing, your thing is pretty solid apparently. So let's fucking go. So that makes our job easy this time around. Yeah, I bet. Tapping the power button can postpone a hallucination from spawning, but to a survivor, it appears as if you're about to launch UVX. This force the survivors to constantly dodge and lose distance without slowing down the killer. We've reduced the window before the killer slows down while charging their power. This will make it harder to tap the power button without slowing down while focusing on chase. Yeah, that's fair. We noticed that the blurry photo add-on is a fan favorite, so we have incorporated part of its effects into the base kit and toned it down to compensate. This will also allow more freedom to experiment with other add-ons without missing out. We have also toned down the vanishing box add-on, which was on the stronger side, by adding a trade-off increase to hallucination spawn time. Lastly, we improved the VFX and SFX with wow, that's the end. Okay. 44 minutes so far, jeez. Lastly, we improved the VFX and SFX when using UVX. That's a lot of X's. That is a lot of X's, for sure. This doesn't affect balance, but will make it clearer to newer unknown players that hitting survivors with the blast is how you apply weekend and deal damage, not with airborne hits. until next time, the Dead by Daylight team. Honestly, a lot of good changes. I'm definitely happy to know that Unknown is in a pretty solid that the Unknown is in a pretty solid state. And I feel like the changes that they gave him are fair, like making some add-ons, like toning an add-on down because it's too powerful is something they always do. Making one add-on parts of it affects base kit is super cool, for sure. I'm very happy about the Skull Merchant. Honestly, sounded like Skull Merchant's getting some pretty nice changes as well. It's definitely interesting. It's kind of funny because Skull Merchant was the final straw for one YouTuber who completely left this game for a couple of years, and only came back solely because of 2v8. So I'm definitely curious how they feel about the changes. But yeah, this was honestly a very uh crazy one for sure. But I understand like kind of where they're coming from. Of they notice, hey, these perks are too powerful, or hey, these perks need to be toned down a little bit, or hey, these perks need an update. I'm happy that they were able to address those. I'm happy that they put they messed with Skull Merchant and Unknown a little bit, just get them in better states and just make them a bit more like um just to kind of help them out a little bit. And then I was also happy about Billy. Like what Billy's friends got pretty nice changes as well. Can't forget our boys Billy and Twins for sure. Can't forget them for sure. There was a lot of perks in this one, which has me honestly excited, especially that like corrective action was really cool and all. And then the finishing Morty system was interesting to see. I still wish that you could Morty everybody. Like if they would have kept a way where like you still have to like where you have to like finish your Mori system still, but like have a Mori where you could kill the other three when they go down on Hook or something like that. I wish you just cause I feel like it was really cool. Just feel like that was really cool before. But yeah, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share the video, ring the bell. Do all the algorithmic garbage. It helps us out a lot. And it means a lot to us. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.